Yeah, we are recording. We are live. Nice, very nice. Okay, so today I have with me Zakia Ringo, and I have a short introduction here because you all need to meet Zakia Ringo. Okay, so to kick off our first Event Innovators Insight session of the year, happy 2026, y'all. We're starting with a voice that brings both clarity and restraint to the AI conversation. Zakia Ringo is an AI systems architect and the founder of Business Tech Labs. She has a lot of businesses, but this one's is my favorite, so I'm shouting that one out. Where she works at the intersection of people, processes, and technology, usually when something isn't working and no one can quite name why. Her work focuses on designing human centered systems, architecture, and AI translations, layers that help organizations adapt technology without losing clarity, continuity, or trust. Zakia's background spans large scales, virtual event design, organizational learning systems, and real world implementation. During the pandemic, she designed and produced immersive virtual conferences for universities, libraries, and public I can't say it, institutions.
I knew what you meant. Don't worry.
Yeah. Long before AI powered experiences became a buzz phrase, what she learned then still shapes her work today. The biggest challenge is rarely the tool. It's orientation, judgment, and timing. Through Business Tech Labs and its live implementation environment, Live Soap School, Zakia ensures systems are designed to make sense to humans before automation ever enters the picture. Her work prioritizes durability over speed and decision making over novelty. Today's session, designing intelligent events where AI helps and where it should wait, reflects that philosophy. This is not a tool talk. It's a framework for thinking clearly about when AI adds value, when it undermines trust, and how thoughtful design leads to more meaningful audience experience. So please join me in welcoming our first speaker of 2026 for the Virtual Summer Tiers Event Innovators Insight Series, Zakia Ringo. So I had to give
Wow.
you that long intro because you do so much and people need to know about you. So I'm handing over the stage to Zakia.
Oh my gosh. Well, first off, I can't start without thanking Erica first. She has spearheaded us here in Virtual Summits here for the past. Well, I've been an active member for 3.5 years. Every Friday, 10 o'clock, I have my calendar set to it. It is an amazing experience to be here surrounded by other virtual event technicians and producers and just people in the space online. So if you are not a member of Virtual Summits here, I hope that you will join us because there is a whole lot that is shared aside from the innovator session. And I'm just grateful that I was asked to kind of kick off 2026. So thank you, Erica. All righty, let's get into this presentation here. Of course, we used Gamma, another AI tool that we all know, love, and enjoy. And I shouldn't start there because I'm starting with a tool, and I said this isn't about tools. But what you're going to hear from me today specifically is number one, turn my phone on do not disturb so it doesn't ring again. And number two is that when tools are placed correctly, they make all the difference in the timing of how you use them. So I knew that Erica was asking me to do a presentation. I had my talking points. I knew exactly what I wanted to deliver. So then and only then did I turn on my AI tool hat and say, which one is going to help me get to the outcome faster? So, hello everyone. I'm Zakia Ringgold. My latest business is Business Tech Lab, where we are getting into a lot of orientation work and a lot with leveraging AI systems. but not specifically from a tool perspective. So I do want to set expectations and echo what Erica said. This is not a talk about platforms, features, or tech stacks. It's really about design, specifically in how AI systems need to think in sequence if you're after personalization or if it's going to feel intelligent instead of invasive when it shows up on behalf of you to your clients or your customers. And events are simply the clearest place where good or bad architecture show up really, really fast. So, this is the fundamental mismatch. I say most event stacks optimize moments, but your attendees at your events experience journeys. And this is a fundamental mismatch. Most event systems are optimized for moments. Think of things like your registration, a session, your follow up emails, your recap emails. But people, when they're at your events or deciding to come or even after, they don't experience the moments, they experience journeys. And when every system treats them like a first interaction, your trust is never going to compound. You're not going to get that continuity that we're after, where it doesn't feel so invasive. So let's think about virtual event registration as a clear example. The system will usually capture someone's role, hi Harry, um, their interest, and then it will immediately treat that information as permission to um, really personalize it, but it's very aggressive. Someone might select learning or research during their registration and say, I'm signing up because I want to learn more. But then within minutes, the AI is dropping urgency driven emails, right? Calendar nudges, do this, or people you should meet at the event. So the individual's identity is flattened to a segment and it's not respected as a posture of how the person is coming. And the system forgets that registration intent is often just exploratory. When somebody's saying why they signed up for something, it's probably just in the moment and they're clicking things to get through the registration. So, a question for you is what information are you capturing at the registration stage and why? And then, more importantly, when you want to layer that AI experience on, how will that inform what the AI does for the remainder of that person's journey? Now, that's one stage, that's the registration stage. During a live virtual event, this AI invasion can get worse if you're not doing it right. A participant could attend a session quietly. They might stay off camera. They might not ask any questions, but they just may be somebody who likes to take notes. They don't want to be distracted by all the networking and all of that. If you don't design the system right, the system may read that silence as the person being disengaged. And then they might start sending them networking prompts and then follow-ups for them to for you or your system to pull them back in, even though they never left. So the context of the person sitting there on the opposite side of the screen is lost. And the system can't tell the difference between someone that's processing the information deeply and someone who has checked out altogether. So those will compress, and then that failure is going to show up in hours instead of months. And then the last part, we always talk about events here with before, during, and after. So the after event is that post event experience. And where I'm seeing it break down a lot is the systems that we are using and designing are resetting everything. So, attendees who watched full replays or spent time with a long form resource, maybe you had an ebook that they could download, but then the system ignores all of that and resets them to stage one, like they never were there. So they start pushing your AI system or your automations that you've created, starts pushing them into a sales sequence. Like, and it ignores everything that they did while they were in the session. So there's no context for the AI to tap into. So, what makes virtual events such a clear lens is that speed. You have registration, you have participation, And you also have follow up that happens within the span of days. And so the system doesn't feel intelligent to the person receiving it. It feels like it's impatient. And that breakdown that I'm pointing out to for all of you is when the attendee journey isn't designed for. So my question is, are we really designing for the journey, or are we patchworking a bunch of tools together to make the system fit what we think the attendees want, without paying attention to what it is they've said that they need through their actions? So here's an AI reality check. Um, AI does not magically make systems smarter. I know intelligence is in the word, it makes them faster. If your underlying design is fragmented, AI will just accelerate the confusion. I've seen businesses add AI to workflows that were already brittle and broken and end up with more noise. The problem is never the model you're using or the tool, it's the architecture underneath it. And a common example shows up in content and social media marketing systems. A small business adds generative AI to create summaries, maybe your follow up emails, and recommendations on top of a very fragmented content library. We have blogs, we have social media, we have all kinds of things. The problem is the underlying design never clarifies who it was for or what stage a person needs to be in order to share that information. So AI just starts generating more emails, more recommendations, more next best things, more social media captions, more, and it's not hitting the mark. So when you see that happening, I want you to realize that AI did not create that confusion at all. It made the confusion that was already inherent in whatever you were doing faster and louder, right? All right. Hey, Tom, how are you? Happy New Year. All right. And we also see, because we're at Virtual Summiteers, we also see this clearly in virtual events. And we're going to see it more in 2026 because AI is the hottest thing since sliced bread. More organizers are adding AI driven matchmaking, session recommendations, post event follow ups on top of a platform that already treats registration, attendance, engagement as separate moments. It's not interconnected at all. It just sees it as, oh, you got 500 registrations. But what were those 500 registrations doing during the event? And if I was somebody who didn't log into a thing and you're sending me a recap email about the great freebie that Erica has offered, I have no context on why that even matters to me. And the AI is confidently recommending it because that's what it was trained to do. It's like, oh, this is A plus B always equals C, not in this instance. And what happens for that, and this is why trust erodes, the system starts to feel invasive because AI is acting on very fragmented things instead of an accumulated understanding and continuity that's built in. In every case, AI doesn't fail. The failure is not in the intelligence, it's in the design of the system. AI simply reveals it. And so that's something I want you to think about whenever it feels like there's a mismatch or something is broken. What is the underlying architecture around it for you to be able to hand that decision over to AI to act on your behalf? And I can see Harry looking at me and he's saying, that's why I don't use that stuff anyway. So, whatever. All right. But you will in some context. There are instances where it makes sense. And so I'm going to walk through how I design systems in AI. And I'm going to echo this throughout the entire talk. AI only works when it understands not just what happened, but what it means for what's to come next. So I created my own new title. That's the luxury of being a small business owner. You can be CEO, you can be whatever. I'm now calling myself an AI systems architect because I design systems where identity, context, and decisions persist across time, not just what happened or the click that I wanted or the engagement that I got on social media, but what it means for what comes next. So I do that in Business Tech Lab, and it shows up when a system remembers why someone came, not just what they clicked. When we go to the behind the scenes, I'm going to take you to one of my bots on my website, which it knows exactly what people are doing on my website, how long they're there, where they're spending time, what they're clicking on. But then it gives me clues and reports on this is what I need to do next. So that's a tangent, but let me walk through what I mean by this in terms of remembering why somebody came. So the first step is identity. Identity is how the system understands who someone is becoming, not just who they are in a single moment when they land at your event, on your website, in your coaching call, in your consulting session, whatever it is. It is the role and intent a person is expressing through their behavior. And what we do is identity is not reset every time someone clicks on the website or enters a new channel. Um, so, for instance, somebody might be a researcher. They remain a researcher across articles, videos, and any return visits. A learner, on the other hand, um, even when they're quiet, they're still a learner. So we design for that identity persistence. And so the system doesn't reinterpret who the person is or what their intention is when they're there. So that first step is the identity and really getting clear on who the person is that's there. The second part of that is context. Context is accumulated meaning of what has already happened. So, like I said earlier, on my Business Tech Lab website, there's a little silent chat bot that sits in the bottom. Even if you don't interact with it, it knows what pages you've gone to. It knows what case studies you've looked at. It knows what you have downloaded. And then only then, when you go to interact with it, it has that context so that it's not just giving you standard, oh, this is what we do at Business Tech Lab. And the reason that's important, I don't know, all of you are on LinkedIn, but when I'm on LinkedIn, I'll have somebody come in my DM, hey, I built websites for a living and I can help you grow your t-shirt business. Well, number one, if you had context on who I was, you would know I don't have a t-shirt business and you would know I build all of my websites. That's the same idea in terms of the context for AI. If it's just spitting out ideas, if it's just spitting out your general information. And this is what a lot of people experience with Chat GPT and why prompt libraries became very popular because we didn't know how to talk with it and engage with it. And then we would get this generic stuff. And then it was, oh, AI doesn't work. No, we didn't provide the context for it. And then the last part of that is the decisions. Decisions are the actions the system has already taken or intentionally delayed, right? This includes what offers they actually show people, what's withheld, what recommendations that it make, and the moments where the system chooses to wait. So when you have identity, context, and decisions that all persist together, they don't jump up and down, the system stops behaving like a series of disconnected automations and starts behaving like it has a memory with judgment. And memory is where AI becomes extremely powerful. And again, when we go to the behind the scenes off of here, I'm going to show you all what I did with 2 years of memory, 2 years of chat history in Chat GPT. I layered that in, or I infused all of that into Gemini, and it has now created an entire strategy for 2026. And that's the memory component of it. It's also why the tools mattered less than the rules you set about what could not and should not be forgotten about the person that you're interacting with or engaging the AI system with. So I intentionally made this slide boring. And the reason for that is when most people talk about event workflows, They are really talking about task completion, if we're honest. You register the attendee, you send the reminder, you deliver the sessions, you trigger the follow up. Each step works in isolation. And the success is typically measured by whether it fired at all, people were able to register, you made money or you didn't, you added emails to your list. The system is centered on itself, not the people. And from a system perspective, everything looks fine, even when the experience to the attendee or the person on the other side is horrible. If we converse that with where we're moving to and what's going to make the difference in this age of AI, decision architecture starts from a different premise. It assumes that the attendee is experiencing a connected journey, not a series of moments. So we're moving away from moment to here's a continuous journey that people are on. Instead of asking what task comes next, it asks what decision is appropriate now, given what the system already knows. And that shifts the center of gravity for everything because the context continues to accumulate and all those prior decisions matter. The system is no longer just executing steps, it's really designing the behavior, and it's truly personalized based on the context that it has. And this is where trust enters the picture. Where a lot of the stuff with AI is breaking is there's a disjointed trust. And there's a term that I hate, and I'm going to say it out loud, and it is AI slop. I really despise that term. I really do for several reasons. It does have its place. However, when people are framing it as AI slop, it's because you can tell that it was clearly generated by AI and all of that. However, sometimes it's being done in more of a gatekeeping way where you just don't want people to be able to enter the space. So you're saying, oh, that's just AI slop. That's not what we're describing here. But AI slop is one of those things that's going to quickly erode trust. So if you're not designing for those moments and it's just very transactional or task based, you're going to see that the returns that you could be getting from AI are going to be diminishing very, very quickly. So I mentioned trust. How do we build it? Thank you, Notebook LM, for the infographic. There was a conversation that we had about um, keeping Notebook element on there. I take it off. You guys can keep it if you want to. However, trust isn't built all at once. It's built in sequence, and the order absolutely matters. It starts with intent. Before a system acts, it has to understand what a person is actually trying to do, not what we want them to do. Like we want them to come to our conference, we want them to enroll in our membership program. We want them to become brand ambassadors. But if their intent is that's our intent. If their intent is misread, everything that follows is going to feel pushy or irrelevant. So you cannot skip this step. You truly have to understand the intent of the people that are there. And Harry says trust is built over time. Absolutely. And it's the same thing for the systems. After intent comes evidence. Evidence is behavior over time, not a single click or a form field. And this is where, for you as the person designing these systems, this is where your patience matters. And if you're acting on thin evidence, um, that's how a system gets creepy. Like I clicked on your site, now I'm getting all these offers for something that I had absolutely no interest in. Right. So, waiting for evidence is how you will become more credible and you can start trusting your decisions. And then only after intent is clear in the evidence's presence do we get to what I call decision rights. And this is the system asking, what am I allowed to do right now? What is it that we're handing over to AI to be able to do on our behalf versus those things that always require human interaction? Not what can I do, but for AI, what has AI earned the right to do? And sometimes the right decision isn't to act. It's to make sure that it gets to the top of the mailbox of the owner of that particular department or company or whatever it is. And then finally, you have continuity. Whatever the system has learned and whatever decisions that it has made, it has to carry forward. If context or the prior decisions are forgotten, that trust is going to reset to zero instantly. Like I just told you this yesterday. I'm going to give you an example from when I was in the hospital. They would continue to ask me, every person, well, what brings you in today? Well, I just told the person at the front desk. I also told the nursing assistant. I also told the doctor. I also told the nurse practitioner. When when are all of you going to talk so we're not starting at zero again? And that's the same thing for your online systems. And that's where that continuity comes in. Continuity is what makes the experience feel thoughtful instead of very transactional. Yes, maybe there's a reason why the hospital was asking me in all four of those interactions. Was my story going to change? Do I say it a little bit different? But there was nothing for me as the end user to know that there was some larger intelligence that they were gathering this information to be more informed on the care that I was going to get. It just felt like they were all starting at ground zero. Now, one thing I want to be clear about, this intent all the way through continuity, it does need to happen in order. You can't have continuity if you don't have the intent. If you jump ahead, AI does not become intelligent. It becomes fast, confident, and wrong every single time. So trust isn't a feature that you slap on at the end. It's the outcome of respecting that sequence. So I'm going to pause here. Are there any there's a lot going on in the chat. I'm trying to keep a look at it without going off tangent, but are there any questions or ahas or yep or absolutely not that you all had as I've been going through that so far? And Harry's typing in the chat. I just said my eye. You are getting into agents versus general AI. Absolutely. Yep. Fast, confident, and wrong. Yes. You're doing good. Okay. Got it. All right. So this is the model I use to decide whether AI belongs in a journey at all. And the easiest way to see it in action is to look at it from a virtual event from start to finish. So let's start with the intent part. At registration, most virtual events are going to ask what someone is interested in or why they're attending. But that information is often treated as permission to personalize immediately, right? So it's like, oh, well, you said you were here to learn soap making. I'm going to give you all the soap you can swing a stick at. Well, in reality, that registration intent is usually exploratory. I talked about this a little bit earlier where we're saying, I'm just trying to get through this registration form, click, click, click. That's not really what I'm into, but I'm going to check it off. Now, someone might be trying to learn, they might be observing, or simply understand if this event is even for them. If the system treats that very early signal as commitment, all of the personalization that may be built in with AI starts too soon and feels pushy, not helpful. Next is we're looking for evidence. Evidence shows up during the event itself. What sessions did they actually come to? Did they stay for the full session or did they bounce between sessions? Did they watch your replays? Did they ignore the networking prompts or did they jump right in when you sent something for them to go to an expo hall? These behaviors that happen during the event either confirm or contradict what you said their original intent was. So, acting before you have that evidence could accumulate, and that's how you can be either confident that your system is doing it the right way or the wrong way. Then we get to that decision rights part. And this is the system asking, what is it allowed to do right now? Now that I know their intent and there's evidence of it, can it go ahead and recommend a follow up session? Maybe. Should it push networking or a sales conversation? Not necessarily, right? Because in Many virtual events, AI, what does it do? Oh, you're in Philadelphia. I know Harry is in Philadelphia. I know Harry's not in Philadelphia. You two should meet. But Harry hates everything about AI. What are we going to talk about? DJing, live streaming. But it might have missed that because there was no checkbox for that on my intake. Um, so in many virtual events, you want to make sure that if you're using AI, make sure it's earned the right to act and make decisions for anything that's going to be people facing. And then whatever the system learned during the registration, during the event, it has to carry through for after the event. Someone who attended deeply but maybe didn't come off, maybe you can go and offer them a one-on-one conversation for what they got out of it instead of just blasting them with your standard after event emails. Because maybe there's somebody who likes to talk one-on-one. Again, it has to happen in order. If you go ahead and skip on the intent part, all of your evidence is going to be misread. If you skip the evidence part, all of your decision rights are going to be guessed. And if you skip continuity, your trust is never going to compound from one event to the next and all of that. And that's why I always say generative AI does not fix broken design. It accelerates, fastens it, makes it quicker. If you hear this clearly. Yes, you might be putting a lot of stuff out, but if it's a lot of the wrong stuff, you're not getting the return on investment. And the fastest way to break personalization in your events is to let AI act before it has earned those decision rights. So think about one event that you're responsible for. Now, I know many of us have not started using AI for the sake of AI in our events, but are there any current places you are thinking of implementing AI? And if so, and you don't have to answer this out loud, are you clear on the intent of using it? Do you have evidence? What will you allow AI to do without you? And can it be continuous throughout that person's journey well beyond the event? Event is just a moment. We're looking for that continuity. Yes, Chat and I have put out a lot of stuff. And yours has a lot of continuity to it, Erica. So, well, I'll come back because I'll get off track. Now, the last thing I'm going to say about architecture, because we are the Summiteers, we like to talk tools and stuff. So I would be remiss. Before you add another tool to your stack, map one attendee journey using intent, evidence, decision rights, and continuity. If you can't clearly name the decision that AI is making and whether it's earned the right to make it, your tech stack may be shiny, but it won't be intelligent. And we're after intelligent event design. And always remember that tools expire. Architecture is what's going to compound. It doesn't matter. You're always able to swap out a new tool. They come up every day. But if the underlying architecture isn't there, again, it's the squirrel moment and the I got it to get it kind of thing. Now that the architecture is clear, let's talk about where AI actually belongs in the journey without pretending that the tools compensate for missing design. So before the event, it's not about targeting, it's about listening. So I'll use AI before engagement to improve the questions we ask. And I would go to our trusty generative AI, whatever, pick your poison, Gemini, Chat, Perplexity, Claude, whatever one it is, to help me to come up with the questions to ask people that are registering. And this is to avoid any of the assumptions that we might make because if the intent is unclear, the system is going to stay curious instead of confident. Whereas if my pre questions are saying, how soon do you want to implement a solution? And I have people saying, I'm not here for a solution. Well, I'm not going to start selling them on solution. Whereas somebody saying, I'm ready in the next 3 to 5 weeks, then we're going to go down the sales path. Does that make sense? Is that tracking where, but if I don't ask the questions to get the person's intent, I have no way for this AI to know whether they should be curious, continue to ask more questions, or confident in, oh, this person has checked all these boxes. Their intention is clear. I'm tracking. This is exactly this is the path we need to send them on. I did that one, so I'll skip. Doo doo. Yeah, it jumped too far. I can't see what you guys are seeing. Maybe you can see this one. I don't know. Building in a silo without an MVP. I think you will like it, especially if you use the comment. I'm missing all the good talk in the chat about tools and what I should be using. So I'm gonna come back and read that. All right. So what is AI doing during your event? Think of session attendance, chat activity, participation patterns without actually forcing the conclusions. So I've used this approach in live programs where AI is quietly supporting the moderators with context while me as the moderator is retaining the judgment. So let's talk about the observing part. AI can gather data on engagement, interactions, and session attendance, and it can provide you the insights without imposing expectations. It can also surface instead of dictating what should happen. AI can highlight relevant information, potential connections, or session alternatives for people, allowing the human to still be there, but AI is just surfacing those things at a higher level for them. It can also serve as a host assistant, um, providing like real time data on you're having people drop off in the first 5 minutes of sessions, or people are really paying attention at this particular session. It can give you suggestions for moderation. It can respond or create drafts. And then it can also empower your facilitators to enhance that event experience. And then I talked a little bit about continuity. I'm just going to say this for its sake. This is where most stacks collapse. And I think I have a delivery coming. Erica, give me 1 minute. I have to pause for 1 second.
All right, no worries.
That's funny.
Guys. She knows me so well. She's called me out multiple times.
No, I thought it was funny, the delivery arriving in the middle of your talk,
Yeah.
but
And Milo barking to let her know that the package has arrived.
yeah. Yeah, reality intrudes.
Yes. Hello, Harry. Hello, Joe.
Good morning.
I've
Oh,
secured
Joe's
the
snuck in there
package.
too. Okay.
Okay, package secured.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. It required a signature. I had to go. Normally they would leave it, but this one required it. I'm so sorry. I knew they were going to come.
I get it.
Smack dab.
You're amongst friends. We forgive you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So this is what we're talking about in terms of continuity. And this is where most tech stacks are going to collapse. Post event, after your event is over, shouldn't reset the attendee to zero. It should carry the memory of everything that happened in that event, what their interests are, and then move that forward. So what AI should be doing after your event is remembering the journey, right? What did the person do? What did they experience? That's really small on my screen. Their unique path, how they came in, how they interacted with other attendees, if they even did, and then building a personal history. Summarizing meaning, not just the activity. So AI should move beyond raw data and really go to understanding what truly resonated with the people that were there from a collective and then also from an individual perspective, and then preventing the next interaction from starting at zero. So each new interaction that the person has should be building on the previous understanding, creating that continuous and evolving relationship over time. It's not, and I'm going to repeat what Harry said, trust is built over time. If you're thinking that your event is going to be that silver bullet, um, I think that's why Virtual Cemeteers is so um, remarkable, is it's been built over time. We come here and we trust each other's recommendations, their experiences. It wasn't because we logged in one Friday once a year. It's every single Friday where we're living through those experiences. That's intentional. Well, I don't know if it was designed intentionally, but that was an outcome of it, that trust that was built over time. And if I'm lying, I'm flying. Guys, am I lying? And this is where I'll answer the question everyone's thinking. What tool should I use? If you absolutely, and I started with this, but I'm going to repeat it because it's not a specific tool. Because if I tell you a tool without the placement for that tool, what'll end up happening is, Zakia, you recommended this, but it doesn't fit. If you absolutely need a place to start, step into your generative AI tool, whether that be Chat, Claude, or Perplexity. Not to automate, but to use it as a thinking partner. Use it to pressure test what the intent is, to rewrite questions, and simulate the attendee journey. What would be the optimal journey for somebody interacting? And what I always say, that AI can teach you about its strengths and what it could do and how you could use it better than any guru that's going to sell you a prompt library. Ask Chat, I'm trying to implement AI across a specific event. The goal that I have is this. My audience is ABC, ABC, XYZ, 1, 2, 3, whatever that is. Help me plan how to incorporate AI. Where does it make sense where it will not break Zakia's decision framework kind of thing? And if you must use a tool, there is one that I absolutely love. There's two. One is Consulto. That's a listener on your website. And the other one is reclaim.ai. And the reason I like Consulto and Reclaim is it respects the boundaries of the individual. Reclaim is more of a personal boundary setting. It helps to intelligently create habits, build your calendar, schedule tasks, and make sure you're not just responding to everything with a yes. Whereas Consulto is that app that I was mentioning earlier about what's sitting on my website and the amount of data that I get. So if you have to use a tool, start with generative AI. And I think that's where I'm going to end. That's where I'm going to leave that. And Thomas says, I use Reclaim and I like it. Good. Tom, how long have you been using it? You know, I got it on lifetime deal. 3. Okay. So it's not a flyby. Even better. I didn't do enough research on it. Sometimes when you're with LTDs, well, we all know. Sometimes they burn you, but if they've been around for 3 years, I'm excited. And then I think we have one more. Yeah. So we went into Notebook LM and created a video because I knew I would probably go on tangents, not explain. This video is
Welcome to the explainer.
7 minutes. And I shared my presentation with Notebook LM, and then I had it go ahead and create a video explainer for anything that I may have missed. So if you guys can sit back, don't go to sleep, watch the video, and then we can open up for Q&A.
Today, we're talking about event tech, but probably not in the way you're used to. We're going to dive into a whole new model, and it's all based on the brilliant work of AI systems architect Zakia Ringgold. This is all about designing systems that actually earn our trust instead of just, throwing more tools at the problem. Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to look at what's fundamentally broken with most event tech. Then, we'll see how AI, surprisingly, can make things even worse. From there, we'll get into the good stuff. Zakia Ringgold's big idea, which she calls decision architecture. We'll break down her 4 pillars of trust, figure out where AI actually belongs, and wrap up with a really powerful concept: why your system's architecture is way more important than any single tool. So let's start at the beginning. Where does this all go wrong? Well, it turns out that almost every single conversation we have about event technology starts from a broken premise. You know how it goes. The conversation immediately jumps to tools. We're all asking about platforms, new features, cool automation tricks. The big question is always, what can it do? But as Zakia Ringgold points out, this is exactly the wrong question to start with. We're assuming the problem is a lack of capability, but it's not. The real problem, it's the design itself. And this is where you see this huge disconnect, right? On one hand, you have the system design. It's built to optimize these little separate moments, like registration here, a session over there, and a follow-up email way over there. But that's not how people experience things, is it? For an attendee, it's one single continuous journey, and they feel all the bumps and friction between those disconnected parts. It's that feeling of, ugh, why do I have to enter my name again? Or getting a personalized recommendation that just feels weird and out of place. Okay, so you've got this fragmented system. Now, what happens when we pour the rocket fuel of generative AI on top of it? Yeah, exactly. AI doesn't come in and magically fix the broken design. It's an accelerant. It takes whatever you already have and just makes it more. So if your design is broken, AI just accelerates the brokenness. Those disjointed experiences, now they happen faster. Those awkward personalization attempts, they get louder and more frequent. And that's exactly why so many of these AI-powered systems feel kind of creepy and invasive, not helpful. So to get out of this mess, Zakia Ringgold says we need a complete shift in our thinking. We have to stop trying to patch up individual moments and start designing for the entire continuous journey. This means building a whole new foundation. So what does that look like? Well, it means moving away from these simple one-off workflows. Instead, we need to build an architecture where an attendee's identity, their context, and their decisions, all of it persists over time. The system has to carry the meaning forward. It's not enough to know someone clicked a button. The system needs to understand what that click meant and how it should inform the very next thing that happened. And this is the big idea. It's called decision architecture. And get this, its main purpose isn't just to automate things. Its job is to figure out if and when AI should even be involved in the journey. It's a system designed to make sure AI earns the right to act for an attendee. See the shift? It's about trust and timing, not just features and functions. And this isn't just some abstract concept. Zakia Ringgold has actually formalized this whole way of thinking into a concrete model that she uses to build her own systems. It's called the decision readiness architecture. Okay, so her model is built on 4 pillars, 4 really critical questions. And the key thing here, the most important rule, is you have to answer them in order, no skipping steps. So the whole model really hinges on this one big question. Before a system can act, what must it understand? It seems so simple, right? But think about it. It forces us to just pause, to stop thinking about automation for a second and start thinking about understanding. Okay, so here are the 4 pillars. First up is intent. What is this person actually trying to do? Not what your marketing funnel wants them to do, but what is their real goal? Second, you need evidence. What behaviors are they showing that either support or maybe even contradict that intent? And we're talking about quality signals here, not just a mountain of data. Now, the third one, this is the absolute game changer: decision rights. Has the system earned the authority to make a move? Has trust been established? And finally, pillar 4 is continuity. How does the decision we just made inform what comes next? How do we make sure the system remembers? And this really gets to the heart of it. As Zakia says, people don't resist intelligent systems, they resist presumptuous ones. You know that feeling when a system gets too personal too fast? That's not a content problem. It's a timing problem. AI breaks our trust when it presumes a relationship that just isn't there yet. It acts before it's earned the right. So if we're following this architecture, if we're asking these 4 questions in order, it begs the question, right? Where does AI actually belong in this picture? Where should we place it? And the answer isn't everywhere. It's not about finding the biggest, baddest AI engine and plugging it in. It's about being incredibly thoughtful and intentional. It's actually about restraint. So think about it like this. Pre-event, AI isn't for the attendee, it's for you, the designer. It's a thinking partner. You can use it to simulate different attendee journeys and see where things might break. Then, during the event, its role shifts. It's not there to make decisions for people, but to help them make better decisions by making the trade-offs really clear. And then post-event, this is maybe its most important job, to provide that continuity, to make sure the system doesn't get what you might call amnesia and forget everything that just happened. This is how the relationship actually gets stronger over time. Okay, this brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful idea in Zakia Ringgold's entire model. This is the big takeaway. The idea is this: tools will always expire. Architecture compounds. Think about that. The specific AI tool you're excited about today, it's temporary. It's going to be obsolete sooner than you think. But a solid architecture, one that's actually built on these principles of understanding intent, finding evidence, earning rights, and maintaining continuity, that doesn't expire. It builds on itself. It compounds, creating more and more value over time. And that leaves us with one last, really important question that you should be asking yourself. When you look at your event tech stack, what do you see? Is it just a pile of separate tools, each one doing its own little thing? Or are you building a true decision system, an architecture that is fundamentally designed to earn the trust of your attendees?
I said I'll let AI explain it a little better than I could. So, last thing, this is just my slide. You all are officially hearing me call myself an AI systems architect for the first time. There is a whole article on designing intelligent event systems over at businesstechlab.com, and maybe you'll go and experience that AI agent in the bottom right. We can open for questions, or we can talk about this thing that I'm seeing about a tool burning us when we go off recording. But thank you for listening, everybody.
Let's see. Okay, so we just heard from Zakia Ringgold. Zakia, would you please tell us where can people find you? Like, where's your favorite social media hangout spot?
At this point, I have two: LinkedIn for all of my professional folks, and Facebook for all the regular folks that I like to hang out with. So yeah, you can look me up, Zakia Ringgold. So I'm Zakia Ringgold everywhere, and then also you can see my work at businesstechlab.com.
All right. So now we are going to stop the live stream and give you folks a chance, if you want to hang out with us and talk to cool people, brilliant people like Zakia Ringgold, you need to join the Virtual Summiteers peer group. So other than that, I'm going to say goodbye and happy 26 or 2026 for now.
I like the idea that tools expire, but the architecture, good architecture survives.
Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely a good takeaway.
Especially with the chat that I'm seeing. What happened with Cast Magic? I'm at the top, and I actually brought extra minutes for transcription and all of that. So what did they do?
Me too. So they are back on AppSumo. And so I saw them there, and I went and said, well, maybe I can pick up some more codes and stuff like that. Well, it's an entirely new deal. And it's basically an air meet thing where you don't get grandfathered in. And so there's a lot of questions about that. And they basically say, well, this is the way it is. We're honoring the original deal, but you just don't, get any upgrades, or we don't bring you along with things. And there's no upgrade path either, So basically, if you want to go with Cath Magic in the future and get the future updates, you have to rebuy the deal at higher prices and
lower limits, higher prices, lower limits.
Well, I think the limits are actually higher, which is what some people were complaining about, but the prices are definitely a lot higher. And so basically they're shafting their they're early adopters and they're, you know, so, there's a tool I use a lot. And so you just, it's very disappointing, and I filed a complaint with AppSumo, and so far I haven't seen anything, but there's a lot of people complaining in the comments, and they're basically just like, well, this is the way it is, so it's, you, you know, we're living by the terms of the original deal, is that you still get the limits you signed up for and all that stuff. And, but, this is where we're going forward. So, and I inquired of them and they didn't answer about, I understand the stuff, but, it'd be nice if there was some way for the original adopters who have paid for your success to,
Exactly.
to upgrade. And they've just ignored me. I've had the question up there for a number of days now, and there's no answer. So anyway, it just doesn't look good for, Cast Magic, which very disappointing. So, but once again, it reinforces, your point that, tools come and go, and solid infrastructure and architecture is what gets us to survive. So we can replace a tool. It's a pain in the butt to learn a new tool, but your infrastructure that you built
Yep.
is really what survives and goes forward. So that's kind of the reason I brought it up, is because it makes your point.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking, I was hoping it wasn't that. Cast Magic is central to what I do when I do podcasts, coaching calls, or anything. It goes through there. It has all of my prompts, and then it generates exactly what I need. I think I shared on here my Cast Magic behind the scenes. I have
Yeah.
40 pre-built prompts that are in there,
Yeah,
and it saves me tons of hours.
it's a
So
great tool, and that won't go away, but it's
it
just
will, though, because and the reason I say that, not, I'm sorry to cut you off, Tom. The reason
Yeah.
I say that is we see what's happening with Gemini and the new models that are coming out
Right.
and all of that. So
Yeah.
it will be obsolete. Like, yeah, you got these great prompts, but you're using
Right. Exactly. So you're not along for the ride, and so you could go and you could invest in the new one, but who's to say they're not going to pull this? Once they've done it, they could do it again. So it's a lot like air meat. Yeah, you get to keep what you originally got, but we're just not going to bring you along for the ride on the new
and
stuff.
you needed us for you to be able to even have a ride, but
Exactly. I just, it, at this point, it doesn't do any good to get mad. It's just disappointing. And you just say, so
you know what you
okay,
do?
AppSumo does anything about it. So,
You know what you do? You go to Google AI Studio, you give it Cast Magic, and you tell it, build me this app.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
that's where it's going.
there you go.
I am so sick and tired of it. I mean, there's nothing really unique or that's going to be my mission this next month. I'm going to
Yeah.
build a Cast Magic 2.0. Call it
Are you
something
gonna
else.
sell it on
Mhm.
AppSumo?
Well, I got to see if I can build it. I don't think they like vibe coded apps.
Yeah,
That'd be
That's
probably not.
insane. That is insane.
It's, I mean, it's
Par for the
just
course.
really disappointing. And it's just, the thing with, now I will say one thing. I bought this through AppSumo. I bought some codes to a program called Kateb. It's a kind of a, blogging, produces articles and stuff like that. And they did the exact opposite. They totally rewrote their program from the ground up and modernized it. And they basically sent out an email and said, we're honoring the deal with you, AppSumo. The only thing we need is you to go back and get repost your AppSumo codes, and we will upgrade you to the full new program with all the credits. And it's a nice little program. It's kind of niche, but I like it, and they're it's a complete opposite, that they're honoring their deal. And yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt to go back and replug in all the codes, but not that much of a deal, because
Yeah.
I had maxed out on that one, and it produces. I just ran it, and it produces some pretty nice articles and blog articles, and so I'm pretty pleased with that. It's not past magic, like I'm saying. It's kind of a different niche, but it just contrasts how some people handle it versus others. And
Yeah.
and
Wait a second. Did anybody notice that when Zakia says take your cast magic and give it to Google, she didn't say anything about base 44? I mean, I thought she loved base 44.
I like base 44, but I just don't have any credits left. So I gotta use the free one. I'll build it there and then I'll transport it over to base 44 when my credits reset.
there you go.
That's smart.
I haven't checked out base 44, but I've heard good things about it.
Yeah. It goes that last mile that most of the vibe coding tools suffer from, where you've built this really pretty app, but then it's stuck in the studio. You can't deploy it.
Right.
Whereas base 44 gets you there in terms of
Yeah.
having it live.
I gotta go back and look at that again. I just made myself a note to do that.
You gave us a lot of a long to-do list so far. So, but I am concerned because a lot of the stuff I feel like you called me out on. I was definitely pulling stuff together, like duct taping things together.
We
Now
all
I
do,
know.
though. I didn't mean to call you out, though. We all are absolutely doing that.
Now I want to know, how can I be better cohesive with all my duct tape? Can I get the same color duct tape and make seamless lines?
That's a start.
That's a start. That's it. I'm going to say Chat GPT, Erica, that's your buddy. I would say ask it different questions. So I would feed it what it is that you're doing. Like, it knows in the separate conversations, but it's not cohesive in a single conversation. So I would do a brain dump, and sometimes I just talk it out. I know you say us humans can't understand you, but AI will definitely make sense of what you say. So instead of trying to sit down and type, brain dump it. I run virtual summiteers. The ultimate goal is to have people become paid members of the virtual summiteers peer group. Currently, what I do is, and spell it all out, everything. Now, help me to design a cohesive AI, or how to integrate AI where it makes sense. But then also upload this talk, upload the video and the blog post. Using this as the framework helped me to see where I could improve. I would start there.
Now, here's something interesting I came across just like yesterday, and I watched a few videos from a couple different people on this, and I don't know if one's stealing from the other or whatever, but it's using Notebook LM and Google Docs to create basically you're doing one source, you're only uploading one source, which is an ideation type of document, and then you sync it with Google Drive, and you're doing your whole mind meld, brain dump, whatever you want to call it, into this document. And then Notebook LM is then pulling from that one document, and it's critical to sync it with Google Drive, and you just do a brain dump. And then you can do stuff like, use capture tools and dump everything into this ideation doc. And now you're able to go back and query that and use it basically as the basis for your ideation. And it was kind of like, that makes a lot of sense to me. And especially Notebook LM that doesn't go outside of the sources you've uploaded. And so you're really getting a lot fewer hallucinations, because it's only taking that ideation document and working with that, and then gives you a lot more structure to the thing you're building based on, the stuff that's coming out of your brain dump. So that, that was kind of a revelation to me. Maybe not to some of you, but it was kind of like, well, that's actually a pretty good idea, because I get stuff scattered all over the place, and keeping one ideation document there really makes a lot of sense. So I throw that out, for your consideration. So
Yeah. I would also add, I have seen 2 YouTube videos about that single source doc, Tom. I didn't consider it that way, but I did see those videos that you're referencing. Well, they may
yeah,
not be the same one, but I think it's that idea that's circulating now.
yeah,
What I did was I had started using Gemini because I'm not really that great at image prompting, and Gemini now has Nano Banana built in.
right,
So what I did, but the problem for me is I have consistently and only used ChatGPT for the last 2.5 years. So I had that really extensive chat history. Not a problem.
yeah,
Gemini instructed me on how to download my archive from ChatGPT,
yeah,
and then I created a gem. That's what they're called in Gemini. I created a gem, which is my archive library. And with a single prompt, I can pull up any piece of the conversation. Because one thing that I've struggled with is I will have massive conversations in a single chat where we go into 15 different topics.
right,
Gemini can surface that with the context, where I left
nice,
off, and what those decision points are, because I now have that archive. So imagine having a brain for every conversation you had for the last 2.5 years, and at a prompt, asking a question, it can resurface it in an instant, and you can keep moving with it. So I'm transferring over to Gemini right now. Still have some
yeah,
training to do.
interesting.
So,
Now
so
I've
can you
heard.
do that I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead,
Tom.
Joe. No, go
I
ahead,
was just
Joe.
going to ask real quickly with what you were saying, Zakia. Can you pull that from every platform into Gemini like that?
As long as you can download a JSON file. Chat
Got it.
GPT gives you a JSON, and then what you do is you go into, it's called gems there, the same way we have projects in Chat GPT.
Mm-hmm.
They
Okay.
termed it gems. So I had to, I give all of them a new name. Like I was calling Gemini Gem, GEM, but now they have gems. So I told it that I'm now going to call him Jim, JIM. And when I'm saying gems, I'm referring to the gym.
No
And
more
Chad is
Jim
the
and
girl.
holograms. That's why I call Jim too, or her, because I think of Jim and
Gym and
holograms.
holograms, yeah. They gotta have a personality.
hmm
Yeah,
It's like, dang, I'm getting my notebook full already with all these tips you guys are handing me. So, Zakia, when you get this video, I hope you ask Gemini or whoever to give you all the tips that you've given us throughout this recording.
Yeah,
So
but I
did you?
don't want just tips. I want you guys to be able to implement something from it, or
Right.
at least take a mindset shift on how you're working away. That's the most important.
Did you clean up your chat history at all, or kind of, or just okay? Because I've heard from some people who are actually, pretty expert in this stuff, where they say they've gone back and some of the chat history has been, they'll mention like one thing one time, and it just kind of keeps showing up, and they say, how do I get rid of it? It's just kind of like, and you can go in and you can edit that chat history, but
Mm,
it's a pain to do. But and part of my problem is I'll do, and I'm trying to figure out how to handle this, because I'll do, I'm working mainly on the water stuff, so water utility stuff, and so whatever AI I'm using, take Chat GPT for instance, it always wants to reference, whatever I'm talking about, put it in that perspective. But if I go in and I have something that's like rural small business that I work on actually too, that's not water utilities, now it kind of, ends up mixing things up. So I'm looking at maybe just using separate tools for things that are,
mm.
use Perplexity for this and Chat GPT for this, and kind of keep them separate, so you're not, getting overlap, but then you're
You're
so
fragmenting it. Yeah.
yeah,
I
so you're fragmenting it.
So yeah, you can tell it to ignore it. And that was exactly what
Yeah,
Gemini had recommended I do, on top of creating projects in ChatGPT or gems in Gemini where it has that context and the persona that you're having that conversation around. And so you're not starting from new chat, you're going to that project to start a new chat, or
right.
that gym to start a new
Okay.
chat, so it has that context.
Yeah. Because you hate to lose that history that you got
Yeah.
too, because I'll do it. I'll just plug in as I'm, you know, drive a couple hours to look at a well site, and I'm conversing with ChatGPT as I go, and doing all this ideation stuff,
Yeah.
and we want to keep that. That's for sure. So
Yeah, but I would say everybody should download their archive anyway,
right,
after having that experience, because it can be ported from one to another. And I think this is also the whole privacy conversation too, being very mindful of what we're putting in those tools as
right,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I lost access to talk-virtual.com, and I lost access to that on talking to chat. Um, but it was still on my phone, and I'm asking chat, how can I get these two conversations back together, since I know how longer have access to that email address. And it told me I just needed to um, share it, save it somewhere, and then paste it into another chat document. But I think if I can move everything from chat to Gemini, since I have two chats, it would be so much easier. And I think I told Zakia maybe 2 days ago that Gemini speaks a lot differently to me than chat. Like chat's kind of nicer, but Gemini is like, how's that MVP coming along? Is that actually what you want from this? And I'm like, deterrent. So and I'll have to back away for a minute until I gather my thoughts to come back and be ready to talk to it again.
He's so sensitive.
Yes, I mean, I came up with a really cool app, and then it asked me about my MVP, and I'm like, dang, I ain't think about that, because Zakia was telling me I wasn't being cohesive with it. I was just, how I said, I was building in a silo without an MVP. But now I know that what I'm supposed to do. I can go back to that conversation and ask, how can I better make this MVP? It said, would event professionals have time to play games when they're at work? What's their return on investment? And that was my turn. And I just went away instead of asking what would be a good return on their investment for their time, their money, and all of that.
Mm.
Mm. I just started playing around the last couple of months, really getting serious. I have the chat GPT, I have Gemini, and I just got Perplexity for a year. So I'm a dive
You're
into
covered.
it and see, what it's gonna do. I'm still me, but and I still hate on them, but
Not as much
I'm
as air meat though, right? You don't
right,
hate them as much as air meat.
right.
Okay.
Definitely a air meat and apple hater.
The one thing about Perplexity, and I use Comment now, when they put that on my thing, and I was like, okay, I'll try it, is now anytime I have a question, I go, and I am, if you don't know, I am an SEM. I am a search engine, marketer. I, am an SEO and all that stuff. Any question, I've always told people for the last 20 years, Google it. Well, guess what? Joe, now, if I have a question, YouTube is
Perplexity.
still there, but all questions go to Perplexity, and I'm using Comment on, Perplexity's Comment. All questions go there, and from whatever there is, depending on what I'm doing, I might go back and search. I might go to Google, or I might go to YouTube. But man, Perplexity is like where all my questions start now, and I lay it out. And the other thing that I do that's really, I don't know how much you guys are doing this, but I will say that you as a group cohesively help me get to the point that I'm doing some of these things. Is that any video I like YouTube videos that are informational. I hate spending the time going through them. Eventually, I'm nodding off. So I put them in there. I tell it, 1, create an executive summary. 2, create a step-by-step outline of what's on it. 3, give me the key takeaways. And I forgot what the 4th point is, but action steps. And 4th, action steps. Any video I want to go. So if I were to take today's, which I'm going to take today's at some time, I would take it, put it into the video, and I would say, give me these 4 things. Then I have them, and then I, save them as a document that I can go back to quickly and recall the specific points I want off, and then I'll highlight it and save it. So just an extra thought. But man, Perplexity is where it starts. Harry, you are in the, if you're not using it regularly, I did not think I would switch over to it, and man,
I just got it 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's dominated how I do things now.
Very nice. Hey, y'all, can we take a little bit of time and tell Harry happy 60th birthday?
Happy birthday, Harry!
Happy birthday, Harry. Happy birthday, young man.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, very
I'm glad
nice.
I made it.
Can I say something here real fast on that kind of celebratory thing? Night before last, my wife and I celebrated our 25th year anniversary.
Wow.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Wow is a big thing, because as far as my parents are concerned, we surpassed, every one of our kids surpassed what our parents did, and that was kind of it's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, best forever plus 5 years.
Yes. Hey, Zakia, you brought up Gemini a minute ago, and you talked about its graphic design capabilities, for lack of a better way of saying it. And because of Erica, I gave something a try after hearing Erica in my head all the time. Notebook. So I just said, for the end of the year, I put in my YouTube channel. I put in my website with my blog, and then I put in my 3rd website that I'm working on. And I said, just put it in. And then I saw on the other that was on the left side, and then on the right side, it has all these different things it could spit out. So I just started spitting them out. And one of them is an image I love, but it was like a 16 by 9 format. So when you said Gemini, for the last 2 days, I've been kicking myself trying to say, how can I take this image that it gave me and break it down for different platforms? And when you said Gemini, I just did it right now, and I've already got my square versions of that same image, and I'm going to do some other things. And I'm like, wow, these conversations is over and over and over. Just give me so many tips that I don't get anywhere else, and I just appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the tip list is getting long here. It's gonna hopefully it's gonna be a checklist.
We're gonna need a book.
Yes.
Make it an ebook and sell it on AppSumo.
And support it this time.
Yeah.
Hey, put some dollars on it.
Bait and switch.
Oh, I got an ebook made from Zakia's what is that? LinkedIn page. I took Zakia's LinkedIn page, and I took she shared a blog post with us, and she had a podcast. What was it? And that video she shared with us, I gave that all back to Notebook, and it gave me a really nice ebook on Zakia and what Zakia is doing. So let me see if I can find it. I'll put it in the comments here.
I'm published
Again. You're already a published author. Let's see.
That's really cool. But I guess what we're seeing is that content can continue to live. Like, we all would approach it 5 different ways and get exactly what we need from the lens that we're looking at it, which I think is really powerful. Before, you would need like a whole team to distill that and create something, the graphics to go with it, the layout, the structure, all of that, where AI just kind of cuts that down. Of course, there's still something that you have to do to it, like some massaging, maybe you didn't get something right. But I'm blown away at what we saw over the last 2.5 years and now where it's going. Did you all see that Manus was purchased by Meta for $40 billion?
Holy
Dang.
cow, I didn't hear that. Yeah.
American money?
American dollars.
Man.
Yeah, the CEO sent a letter out New Year's Eve.
Wow. They're allowed to buy Chinese stuff.
Well, they moved to Switzerland. They moved the
Oh.
company to Switzerland.
So that's what we got to do? Create something and then move to Switzerland?
Well, I don't know if it's Switzerland,
Or
but they
Finland?
moved out of China. I think they went to Singapore. They went somewhere other than the naughty list.
Yeah.
The naughty list. That's hilarious.
I think
Recall.
you'll probably see more.
Tell us
more
about
stuff.
Recall.
Oh, Recall? Yeah, I just sent the information to Joe. It's an extension, a browser extension, but it's a little tool that you can capture. Like if you go to a YouTube video, you can or any page, web page, or anything like that. You basically can capture it into Recall, and it'll generate tags for you. You can put your own tags in. But once it's in there, it's all categorized, and now you can have chats specifically with that little database you have there. And so if you got a bunch of YouTube videos on doing summits and things like that, you can now chat specifically and get ideas from that. And it's just basically a handy place to, if you're watching a YouTube video and you want to save it, it's a 45-minute video and you don't have the time, it'll summarize it for you. You can create notebooks and stuff in there and consolidate stuff. And it's I use it basically to save all my tidbits, and I use it as part of my ideation process because, and I even have a whole section in there for like recipes. Take those recipe
Nice.
videos. But for a lot of the ideation stuff, you come across a YouTube video you like, you plug it in there. Now it's got a tag on it. You can pull it up and then chat with it and pull information out that wasn't explicitly in the video, but it'll combine it with other things, and you can and it's, to me, it's an everyday tool I use. I use it multiple times a day.
Awesome.
So check
Are
it
you
out.
on the paid version?
I am on the paid version. Yes.
Okay.
I use it so much. It's worth it to pay.
And you said you did like the Reclaim tool.
I
correct?
do use Reclaim, yes, because I have challenges. I'm challenged with organizing my time. So,
Yeah.
and so that really helps. And I got tuned on to it for like 3 years ago. And so it's a good tool. So,
Awesome.
just helps you organize things and that flexible time thing, and you can put templates in there. So I do like Reclaim also. So
Awesome.
I don't believe you, Thomas. I think I got better with my time management because I talk with you. So I don't believe you.
I'm awful with that because, and I got YouTube to blame for that. I get sucked into watching hours of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
That's my
Oh
time.
man, I found Chinese dramas on YouTube. My
Uh-oh.
playlist of
Oh, my goodness.
Chinese dramas is like 180 something. Oh yeah.
Well, and we talk about going back to Zakia's AI slop there, that term is appropriate for a lot of these, crappy YouTube shorts you get sucked in on. It's kind of like, oh man, it's like really bad AI. So that is AI slop. I don't have
Yeah.
any problem using that term there.
Yes, it does have its place for sure.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I love
So
those shows.
Erica, let me ask you, how do you like this meeting program?
I like it. I think I like it a little better than Meet Hour because I think I understand it a little bit. I don't fully understand it. As you saw, that Zakia had a blog post and a podcast and a YouTube video that she made, and I wanted to put those things into a widget so I can share those things with you guys, but I don't know how to do that. And every time I tried it, it hadn't worked out. But I hadn't
I
asked
can
for
show
help
you,
either.
Erica. I brought Meetin because of you, and I absolutely love the tool.
Okay.
And oh, by the way, Mini Course Generator is back, so I was able to stack up on those codes, Tom, to max
Yep.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I picked up another, they went to a tier 7, so I picked that up before they went away too, because that's a good tool. It's
Yeah.
and it's really gotten better. I mean, the first time I bought it, I think I told you I refunded it, and I came back and bought it again.
Wait,
And now I'm totally
give a hot
maxed out.
minute on it.
What's that?
Give a hot minute of what that is. I
Mini-
seen
ahead.
it, but
Oh, Mini
ahead.
Course
Skip
Generator
it.
allows you to, like, just with a prompt, create an entire course. But it's so much more than that. They now have AI interactions. They have community, not community in the sense of like a heartbeat or something like that, but they have
Right.
like social walls to get your learners to engage with each other. And they have AI interactions that it can build based on the context of what's in the course. It has landing pages. You can have payment gateways, or you can just use it as a lead magnet for people to be able to provide their email and access the content. So I use it specifically for mini courses, but they are really turning into a full-fledged learning management system.
They really are, and you can add your own videos in there, and
Yeah.
pictures, and edit, edit to your heart's content. So it's a good tool,
And it
so
has the AI built in for you to build your content out. And of course, it's not going to be final, but instead of that, it's getting rid of that blank page syndrome that we all have when we go to create a presentation or a course.
I never have that.
No. You have that, the arm.
Oh, has anybody checked out the Book Like a Boss page that I sent you in? I
Can you
got
share
to
it,
show this.
Erica?
I seen it on the last. I didn't look at it.
yeah.
Well,
I haven't
I
played
thought
in
it.
none of this in long time.
Oh, I just want to share this because I thought it looked pretty spiffy. And I see Joe asking about Copilot, but just real quick, I thought this was really nice. I'm not sure if anything changes or how I use it, but I'm trying to use the sistering with event design. So I got Zakia today and her date and time. The next event coming up on the 9th. Trying to keep the design somewhat similar. So you know the date and time. I know I just repeated that, but still, I thought this whole thing with Book Like a Boss was pretty spiffy. I am supposed to go back and do an overview of what it's like to have what is this thing called? January is about digital transformation. That's the theme for this month, and I'm supposed to go back to talk about the overall theme of January and our upcoming events. So all the stuff that I have a hard time saying it, but all the stuff I did in Hey Summit, I can do in Book Like a Boss. Except it will send you to Hey Summit to see the replays. So almost everything, and all the events are here with their descriptions. And I have what is this, the frequently asked questions just for January, and I did all of this with Gemini, and I thought it was pretty spiffy. So I just wanted to share that, even though I haven't completely finished it. Oh, also, what was it, this join now, well, I guess that's not it. Yeah, that's it. So it has the list of events, and it asks a few questions. And yes, I got these questions from Gemini. What's the number one manual process in your event workflow that you wish that you could automate this month? And Gemini suggested that this whole month that I give these results to Zakia, so she can work with people who wants to know more about AI. And I thought that was pretty spiffy. And yeah, I love that it asks for your phone number so it can give you text reminders.
Pause,
thought-
Erica. Pause. Stay right there on that screen. So you asked a question about cohesiveness and consistency. For
Mhm.
each one of those goals that you have, what would be the through line? Because each one of them may have different paths for your attendees. So if somebody does click on increasing ticket registration revenue,
Mhm.
what are the resources or the videos that you already have in Hey Summit that you could possibly recommend? Is there a mini course that you could offer them? Is there a lead magnet so that the system knows that, hey, this particular person wants this? But for every one of your A, B, C, D. And if some of these don't match what you offer or what you want to be known for, I would change them and tweak it specifically to those. So that because it becomes a opt-in and an opt-out. If none of them fit, they're probably not your audience.
Yeah. Yeah. Since we've been doing this for so long, there's multiple videos on all of these.
Mm-hmm.
But
But can you create YouTube playlists specifically for each one?
That's a really good idea. I went to making a stage in Hey Summit before I went to YouTube, but yes, YouTube is a great idea. No, but that
What's the deal with Hey Summit? What did you say about Hey Summit? I missed that.
The stages in Hey Summit where you group talks together or events together. So each stage can have its own ticket, like I just showed you in Book Like a Boss.
Yeah.
Gemini suggested that I sell this January for $500 a person. And I was like, whoa. And it freaked me out. So I left it and I came back. But it might be something because I put in there that I want to make 120,000 this 2026. So it's trying to help me reach that goal. And it's trying to help the people who sign up for this reach a revenue goal also. So I thought it might be something to try. I guess it doesn't hurt to ask. Worst thing that can happen is they show up and expect things to work just how you say it's going to work. Oh, yeah.
Here's my toy that arrived. Harry, I know you love this.
Is it an iPhone?
Thinking new.
Yeah.
It's like an iPhone.
He hates Apple.
It's only
Apple
what
and
4 years behind.
Hush, don't you go there. Ooh,
3 of them.
nice. And that's PTZ, right?
Yes, this is the Tail Air 2.
Yeah.
The
Let me
is
know
that?
how you figure that thing out. I got that for a podcast studio, not mine. I don't know how to use the daggone thing.
What is that, Harry? Is it a microphone or something else?
Camera.
No, it's the Tail 2. It's the camera.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I'm not that sophisticated yet. So,
It's the daddy to this.
oh wow, is
Ooh.
that one on steroids?
Night and day.
That's
Yeah.
pricey too. Those things aren't cheap.
Did you find it on Facebook Marketplace?
No, that is
Got
a
my hopes up.
$3,900 package.
Ooh. I don't think that's the one I got. I lied. I didn't get them that.
This one
Oh.
has all the connections in the back.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I look at it with envy.
Oh, could somebody answer Joe's question about Copilot?
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
I think
We-
Harry
we
said
did.
I
Me and
haven't
Tom
in a
did.
while.
Yeah, they did. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
I had never been interested in Copilot too much, but I know that I had tried it to do images for me at the beginning of 2025. Now that it's been a whole year, and I've tried it throughout the year like 3 times or 4 times, yesterday it gave me everything I was looking for and what I was asking for, and it gave it to me nicely, and I was really happy. It was the first time. So basically, what I got a software yesterday to be able to make a certain kind of video faster, and I just needed the illustrations to be made for me, and I tried Copilot instead of using my points or whatever within the software. And when I did, Copilot did several variations for me. I gave it several different ways to create something for me, and it gave me a lifelike image, gave me a color sketch, and it gave me a couple of other things. I was just like, wow, it's finally doing what it should be doing. It's still
Okay.
behind other things, but it's coming along
Yeah.
too.
Okay. Yeah, everything improves. I used it specifically on an Excel because I need, and this is really an area where AI has lagged behind is doing Excel spreadsheets, and is even the best tools right now are not great. So but I figured Copilot Excel should be a logical, working relationship. But oh man, it was terrible. So
that's Microsoft for you.
So that cohesiveness really comes in handy.
Yeah, well, I couldn't even do the basic formulas and stuff. So just kind of like forget it. So
yeah, Microsoft always wants to be like Big Brother Google, and it can't match it.
Yeah. So.
Zakia, powerful. I'm sad that I missed the beginning of this. We still have the holidays going on. Couldn't get to the computer as fast as I wanted to, and I didn't get up and get out of the room fast. So I will be going back to the recording.
Yeah, at least you woke up. At least you turned on your computer.
Made it.
Yeah,
Yep.
at least
We
I
get
got
to
here,
talk to you.
and I still learned in the 1/3 of the time of her presentation. I still learned a ton.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody got to strap in for 2026 because it's going to be a wild, fast ride.
It will.
What you got planned? What you got
I'm
planned
talking
for
about
this
with
fast
tech.
right.
I'm talking about with technology. I'm working on an AI literacy program for a library and a commercial corridor. That's my two projects, but I'm just saying for us as practitioners and people that are using it, it's going to be coming fast and furious. And I don't know. I don't think we got to keep up the way we've tried to do over this past 3-4 years, but I think getting our footing in those systems and that architecture is going to be key to not losing your mind.
That's why I ended up getting all three of them just to see. And I battled them against each other to see who I like. And Gemini is my favorite. I just got Perplexity literally, like I said, 2 days ago. So I don't know anything about it yet. I've been watching a lot of Tom YouTube videos.
Let me tell you about Perplexity real quick for that. If you need the resources, if you're creating your own content, that's the power of Perplexity that all the other ones don't have. That's the reason I use it, is because a lot of time I'm quoting, or a lot of time I'm grabbing information and I'm writing. And if anybody wants to come back at me, I have my source and I can give them the 10 sources almost every single time. You get a minimum of 10 citations that you can use. And that to me is powerful. The other thing is when I double check it versus like when I use Claude, because I use Claude to write for me. And when I double check it, it doesn't have mistakes often. Like, Claude always comes back, oh, I forgot to do that. Or ChatGPT comes back, I forgot to do that. And I stopped using Gemini until recently. So the Perplexity doesn't have that. So just look forward to that, Harry. Get into it. It'll be addictive like everything else. We are addicts here, I've noticed.
I know, right?
Just a little bit.
I agree, but I use Comet and Perplexity too, and that's kind of my primary one because I don't even use a search engine anymore. It's just Perplexity in Comet, and
because I heard Joe earlier say he's SEM. Have you started transitioning over to AE optimization?
Oh, yeah. Okay. AEO and GEO.
Got it.
So yeah, but I'm more of a paid guy, but I'm a little bit of everything. In fact, I asked Erica. I just wanted to tell you guys. You just said AI literacy, Zakia. I'm
Mhm.
my platform that I'm launching is lead generation literacy is what it's about, and in doing so, some of you guys are aware of what I've done in the past, but I pulled it all together into a platform where not going to have um, I'm not going to have idle courses that are just sitting there online. I'm instead going to be an interactive platform, still offering my agency stuff, but still offering my consultations, but also the training. And what I would like to do is I'm going to be running 2 live events a month, one for my people that are a part of it and the other for the public to see. And that's going to be kind of a mastermind kind of mindset platform and a training platform where I'll be teaching courses once a month live. And then the other one will be kind of a mastermind for group members once a month. So I want to make you aware of that because when I go live stream the first time, I don't want a blank page. I'll tell you when it is. I haven't set the dates. In fact, today and tomorrow.
Want some company, huh?
So, yeah, I definitely want some company because it'll be kind of embarrassing. This is my first live. I'm a lead generator. I know how to get people there. And my very first time, there's nobody there. Crickets.
Do you have a date for it yet?
I do not. I will be telling you the date, or I'll be announcing the date. This weekend is my scheduling weekend for everything. So I will be announcing that shortly.
Is it going to be this month?
It's going to be from now on.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, it's gonna be twice a month, so it'll be later. We got 5 kind of weeks almost this month, so I'm gonna be pushing it. And I know it won't be on Fridays. At least it won't be Friday mornings. I'm trying to analyze.
Yeah, that wouldn't be right.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to come up with. It won't be Tuesday evenings. So so I'll be trying to find something else during the week, and it'll probably be related to Thursdays. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment.
Okay. Let me know.
Okay.
I'm out of pocket. I'm heading to Georgia. Then we go into California. Then I'm back to Georgia. I'll be back home around the 31st, maybe the 1st of February.
Okay, that sounds good. And I do want to say this. I have interviewed Erica Bates. She is interview number 2 on my platform, or she might end up being the first one I put on there. I haven't decided yet because it makes perfect sense. I would love to, if any of you are heavily focused or, spend a lot of time focusing on generating leads and how you do it successfully, I would definitely love to interview you. Thomas, we've already talked. I know you have a very unique platform. The things that I really like are people that have very unique platforms and how they generate leads, because every time I say it in general, then you got these people that are just out of the blue. So my third interview I did was for a lady who has got a very unique product. It's called Hip Maps. Her name is Rachel Leroy. When I met her 5 years ago, she went through, like Thomas did. She went through my beta program, and she says it helped her. And so it's this really, she has a unique product, and generating leads for unique products is difficult. It can be difficult. So I definitely am looking for people like that. But all of you are welcome. I'd love to interview you.
I'll sign up, Joe.
Oh, great.
I'm always happy to help out however I can, Joe. Of course.
Yeah, thank you. And Erica, thank you for the
number in the chat.
ability. Say that again.
Put your number in the chat.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I am. If you want to sign up for an event, let me know. I am bringing back Talk Virtual Tuesday nights at 6. And you're welcome to join any of the talks, and I will have a list that I can share with you a little later. But that's about it. So if you want to look at the list for Event Innovators Insight Sessions, or if you just want to hang out and talk virtual, let me know, and I can send you both lists.
All right.
Right. Happy New Year, everyone. Make it a prosperous one.
All right.
I appreciate you guys.
Prosperous, profitable. All y'all stay healthy. All y'all stay well. Get ready to tell Thomas happy birthday. Yes, Thomas, I've written it down. I'm excited for you already.
I I'm
What
turning
are you, like
70.
35, Thomas?
70.
Wow.
Wow, happy birthday,
It's like,
Thomas.
oh man, I'm
catching up to you.
No. I'll tell you. Oh well.
Good for you. Good for
Yeah.
you.
You
I
can
got to
ignore
rewrite it
it's
now. I
tough
think
time.
I've written down 74. That'll make me 4 years older.
Yeah,
He's
don't
getting
need to do
younger.
that. All right.
All right, everybody. Bye
Have
bye.
a good one. See you
Bye,
next week.
y'all.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Have a great one.